Hi everyone, further to my email that I sent yesterday on the practical guidance, I just wanted to clear a few things up and really just sort of take you through it step by step, verbally in this sort of meeting format, so that anyone that doesn't fancy reading pages and pages of documents and emails can understand it better as well. So let me just open my screen. Help if I'm sharing that with you. So let me just share my screen with you. Okay, hopefully you can see this mini presentation. It's not going to take long. I just want to keep this nice and brief so you get an understanding of what you need to do. So just to clear a couple of things up, this is all to do with the practical assessment. So put aside all the meetings we've been arranging with revision sessions for the multiple choice exams and the forms you've been filling out to go to certain centres to sit exams. That's all the theory side, okay? So this is for the practical assessment. And if you remember, it's that video that you need to submit for the practical side. So here's a quick overview. So what you need to do is plan and deliver 4 gym sessions to a client of your choice. And hopefully you remember me saying that client is either a friend, family member, a colleague, anybody you want can be your client. The only person that can't be your client is somebody that is currently doing this same course. And that's the only restriction. So you can pick whoever you want other than someone on the course. Now, of these 4 gym sessions, only one of them needs to be video recorded and submitted to us to be assessed. However, the 4 do have to be delivered and the other 3 are signed off by a competent person. So whether that's a duty manager, whether it's another fitness instructor, a personal trainer, somebody that is qualified in fitness that can basically sign to say, yep, I've seen this. And it is literally a signature box. And it's not even a signature box, because if you're using the on-screen learning platform rather than paper, you literally tick a box and put their name in that box to say that they've seen that session. And as I say, just one needs to be submitted. And I'm going to go through what you need to do in that session today. So first of all, the steps to prepare, to take you through step by step. Now, you need to complete all questions within the planning gym-based exercise and the instructing gym-based exercise units. The majority of them questions are going to be in the planning gym-based exercise, which is unit 5. Unit 6, from the top of my head, I think there's only 3 questions in that one. So once you've completed them 2, this is when you're up to the part where you can start planning for this practical video that you're going to record. The next thing you need to do is complete a risk assessment. So I have sent this document to everybody, but I'm going to take you through so you can see it. This one, yes, it is. So it starts on page 32. So this is your risk assessment document. There is a copy I've sent you this just as an example. There's a copy of this on the on-screen learning platform. So you can literally go on there. These boxes are editable on the on-screen learning platform where you've been doing all your course reading and learning. So you've got a risk assessment. The next thing you need to do is complete a pre-program participant analysis, which includes the PARQ and lifestyle questionnaire. Again, this should follow on nicely, so it should be the next page. But again, it's on, all of these are on the on-screen learning platform, just so I don't keep repeating myself. And it's just, this is just where is your client currently, and then you'll do another one of these after the 4 sessions, and you'll tell us where your client is now. And hopefully, I know 4 sessions isn't a massive amount of time, but hopefully there's some improvements within them 4 sessions. And that's 2 pages. And then this is your physical activity readiness questionnaire, or PARQ. You'll hear it. As I say, it's on the on-screen learning. Now, let me take you back to the PowerPoint. You then need to complete a program overview of the 4 sessions. And I put CDoc. And the document is on page 37 of that document I sent you. And this gives you an example of what they're looking for. Now, this is quite detailed from what they've put. So where they've put the main content, 7 exercises, including 3 legs, 2 upper push, 2 upper pull. You don't need to go into that much detail if you don't want. it depends what you're actually planning for that session. But this is just like a bit of a snapshot of them 4 sessions you're going to deliver. And then for each, you'll have individual session plans. So now if we look at this, session 1, if we zoomed into that, it'd look like this. And that's what you're going to do in that session. And on the on-screen learning platform, this is where you'll put that witness signature. Obviously, it'll be online, so you'll just put their name. I think there's a tick box as well. But you're going to have 4 of these plans. And the thing I suggest is that you film the 4th one, because you've had a go at 3, you've got a bit more comfortable working with that person. So if you film the 4th one, that's the one that you can submit to us. Once you've done your 4 sessions, you need to complete so after each session, you will complete an individual evaluation of each session. How did it go? And then you will do that post-program analysis again to see whether they have improved, okay, or whether they're on target. And then you will do one final program evaluation, which is an overview of them 4 sessions. How did it go? And it's only them questions there. So if you've got 4 questions and then a little bit of a summary on that page. But again, everything that I'm showing you here is on the on-screen learning platform. So they are the documents that these all refer to on the steps to prepare. And then just ensure that your video and all of the evidence is submitted before the deadline, and it needs to be assessed before the 31st of July. So the deadline to get it to us is ideally the Wednesday, the 28th of July. I'm going to put that in there. But yeah, so Wednesday, 28th of July, to allow us to assess that and get that back to you, get that feedback back. So some key information now on the actual video. So first of all, it all has to be filmed in one take. That's just to stop it being edited and changed. So it has to be one continual take. So just set the camera up, whoever's recording for you. It's better to have someone record you so they can move around and get more sort of camera angles, if you like. It needs to be a minimum of 45 minutes. So just make sure that your phone's got enough storage. You don't want it stopping halfway through. So yeah, make sure it's got enough storage. It needs to be filmed from various angles. So say, for example, you as a fitness instructor, you're not going to stand on the same spot all the time. So make sure that you're moving as you're sort of coaching and getting people into certain positions, and just get your camera person to move around and just check different angles. For example, if they're looking at a squat from the front and from the side, etc. This is a good point. If something is being used in the gym, so say for example in your session plan you're following it step by step and you get to the chest press and it's being used but you've planned for that, this is a really good opportunity for you to show your knowledge that you can find an alternative to that machine. And if that is the case, just make it clear to your client. Just say, so I have planned to do the chest press today. I can see that that's in use, so I'm going to give you an alternative for that exercise, which is the seated pec deck, or I'm going to show you a dumbbell fly exercise using another one for the chest, basically. And that's a really good opportunity for you to show your knowledge that you can quickly adapt to something not being in use, or even if something's out of order, you can do the same thing. If you miss something on the assessment, if it's a massive error, say for example, you really just cock one little bit up, you will only refer on that section. And if that's the case, all we might ask you to do is, you got a little tied up doing the bench press, passing the bar wasn't the safest. Can you film that bit again for us? So you won't have to do the full session again. If you get everything right and there's a couple of bits you get wrong, we'll just ask you to do them bits. But hopefully we can get it right first time. But I just wanted to point that out to you. And then on them actual sessions, so thinking more about the guidance on the plan all the 4 sessions this way, but especially the video that you're going to send in. Ensure that you've got 3 types of cardiovascular equipment. So that's going to be one for a warm up, one for part of the main session, and one for a cool down. Okay. And make sure that it's from that list. So you've got an upright cycle, a recline or recumbent cycle, treadmill, stepper, rower, elliptical trainer, or cross trainer. So make sure you've got 3 of them, 3 different ones of them. Make sure you've got a minimum of 3 bodyweight exercises. So think about, I'm going to put this in here for you as well. So think about squats, think about press ups, think about crunches, think about lunges. What else have we got on there? Think about back extensions. There's a few examples for you to use. And then there needs to be a minimum of 4 resistance machines and free weights, a total of 4 that is as well, which is quite handy because other companies I've worked with or other organizations, you need a minimum of 8, so you need 4 machines and 4 free weights, but you just need a minimum of 4. And within them 4 has to be a bench press, because we have to see how you pass that bar over safely, so, and how you spot a client. So make sure you watch them videos in the instructing section, just to sort of familiarize yourself with passing the bar safely and spotting. And you also have to show a deadlift, because you need to show that you can pick a bar up off the ground safely. So straight away, you need to have a bench press and a deadlift in there. So you only need another 2 resistance machines or free weights in there. And that's a minimum. So if you want to do a little bit more, then feel free. So just to add a little bit extra, and let me throw an extra slide in here. So program example, how might it look then? So if we think we have a warm up, we're going to do 5 minutes on an upright bike. Then we need to do your stretches or your preparation stretches, or you might see these as dynamic stretches, and just cover all areas of the body. And these are, what I'm going through now is all on your on-screen learning platforms. Have a look at these. So it might be like standing leg swings, arm circles, hip rotations. These could be called different things on the online learning platform. Arm circles, hip rotations, chest openers. You've pretty much covered all lower body there, all lower and upper body there. And you're going to do around 10 reps of each stretch. Then for the main session, you might spend 15 to 20 minutes on treadmill. Now for your warm up, let me just go back to that. I mentioned the RPE scale. You want to be getting your client up to around a 5. Again, this is all your on-screen learning. RPE scale 7 plus. If you're not sure what that is, have a look at the principles of exercise session that I've pre-recorded, or I'll discuss that on the actual live one if you're on that one tomorrow. Within your main session, so that's your cardio bit done, remember we need to have 3 body weight and 4 resistance machines. So here's how I would plan it. I would do set of body weight squats, then I might do the deadlift, do press ups, bench press, and there's a reason I've done an order on there. They kind of help the next movement. You don't have to do it like this. This is just an example. What have we got there? 1, 2. So we need 2 more machines. So you might do a lat pull down, and you might do a leg press. So as you can see there, so we've got deadlifts, bench press, lat pull down, leg press. We've got all the machines / free weights we need. And we've got body weight squats and press ups. So we're missing 1 more body weight, and we might do crunches to finish at the end. Then we need to do a cool down to finish our final third cardiovascular machine. So 5 minutes on rower, RPE, below a 5. So we're just bringing that RPE level back down after our main session, and then you'll do your static stretches. Showing one for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. But you're going to stretch all the areas you work in there. So we've got a maintenance stretch and a developmental stretch in there. Again, that's all explained on your online learning platform. One thing I haven't mentioned here is the reps and sets in this section. So that depends on the client you're working with and what their goal is. So if their goal is just general sort of fat loss, that kind of thing, I would just stick to rep ranges of between 3 sets of 10 to 12. You can't go wrong with that. If it's sort of more like health based, and I would maybe push 12 to 15. But yeah, think about that. But again, have a look at it. Depends from client to client, that, so I don't want to give you an absolute with that. But there's a little example of how your program might look, and that's exactly what you'd film. So that would take you at least 45 minutes to get through, because we've got half an hour there with if we did 20 minutes on the treadmill, the 5 minutes and the 5 minutes, that's half an hour. And then to get through these is going to be at least 45. So yeah, so don't worry about time. You'll definitely be able to fill that time. It sounds like a long time, but it's not once you get going. And then at the end of the session, I would use that time to do the client review. So get some feedback from your client, ask them how they felt it went, ask them, is there anything that they feel like they could improve? Get some good bits about the session, get some bits for improvement, give them some feedback. So we just need to work on your position during the deadlift. We need to strengthen this area, that area, whatever you see, just give a little bit of feedback to your client, and then you can wrap up the session. Let me also take you through, I've got it open, the assessment criteria. So everything I've kind of covered there will be within this, and this is the marking grid that the assessors will look at. So we will look at, was the needs of the client identified in the session plan? As long as you fill out all the documents we've mentioned, that will straight away be a tick. Session plan contains meaningful session aims. Again, doing your paperwork will get you a tick there. Is it structured and progressive practices, a plan that appropriate to the client's needs? Again, if we see on that client overview of the 4 sessions that they're progressively getting more challenging, then you've got a tick. Demonstrates the ability to adapt or deviate from the session plan. So that was a point I was saying, if there's something not available that you want to use, show that you can change it up, or ask your client, like, is there anything would you prefer a different exercise to this? And if they say yes, you could even plan that in, ask them to want to do a different exercise if you want, but show that you can adapt. And just have a read through this. So we just need to make sure it's safe and effective, make sure that you're demonstrating and you're speaking, you're communicating really clearly to the client, you're demonstrating everything beforehand, you're referring to muscle groups and areas that are being worked, you're relating everything back to their goals. So have a little mention of their goals within there. And just make sure that you're covering these points. So you've got time to have a read through this. Like I say, this, as long as this is recorded and submitted before that Wednesday the 28th, you've got plenty of time to have a little practice at this, a good few weeks, just to get used to it. And that's all you need to know for the actual session. So I'm going to wrap it up there because we're on 20 minutes now, so I don't want to keep you too long. I hope that was useful. If you've got any further questions on this, just please let me know. Like I say, this is the practical side. If you haven't yet booked your theory exams, most of you have now, but if you haven't yet, please complete the form as soon as possible, so we can get you booked on them. But yeah, Reach out to me if you need any support whatsoever, and carry on working through your learning activities on the on-screen learning platform. Thanks for your time, everyone, and I'll speak to you all soon.